Hey all, and this is the Howl of Eons event. This is a Light Commander event and Noble Killer. So this is quite a difficult event. The bosses seem to have awkward skills. Solo bosses have Power Gem Silence, guild bosses have Armour. I made up a few teams. These are the teams I've come up with so far after opening 4 tiers of the Vault. I didn't really get much of interest, but I did get a couple of relics. So for the Crusade team, it's just a basic 4 ultimate forms with 1 event card. I got the event card using choice coins. So a very basic team, designed to get through the maps as quickly as possible. The main features of this team: Divine Sovereigns. This gives that 500% Excalibur boost. Afterlife Alliance, this also gives a damage boost. Increases Light Commander damage by 70% for 2 turns. Starborn Sentinels, that helps a bit as it has the passive skill, the Afterburn skill. Full Moon Lunaris. This is the ultra rare out of the 2 cards for this deck. I got this using coins. I mainly got this because of the upgrade skill on the card. That's actually a huge skill to have on a card. And it kind of sells it in itself. If you are going to get one of the cards from the deck, get this one if you can. And finally, Haunted Hunters. I need this for the killer skill. It's not a massively effective card, but I don't have the full deck, unfortunately. I will get the other card for the deck at a later date, though. So the relics are just basic Light Commander relics. There's nothing especially exciting about that. Okay, so now let's move on to the teams I'm using for the bosses. To start with, this first team is more intended for the guild bosses. It's not the most effective deck, but it will kill them. The problem is you have to wait until armour is down before this team really works. So Lady of the Lake also has that Excalibur 500% damage increase, the same as Divine Sovereigns, which is why they're both on the team. And it's similar to the Crusade deck, other than that, but having 2 cards that have the Excalibur boost is a huge benefit in increasing the damage. And I would highly recommend having both on the team if you have the deck from that event. And then, if we go on to the relics, they're all Noble Killer relics. So that's the 2 I got from the Vault. There we go. And then 3 older ones. Unfortunately, that only breaks 5 shields. I simply do not have enough Noble Killer relics to break all 7 shields. However, it's good enough to get through the solo bosses, and it will kill the korelium guild bosses. So not too bad, but this team is better for the solo bosses, mainly because the bosses have Power Gem Silence, and this card counters it. The problem is this card doesn't really counter it that often, so it's still not going to be easy. You're going to have to wait until Power Gem Silence disappears, and that can take quite a few turns. Then this is just a similar team to the others. This card, Afterlife Alliance, you want to use it whenever Power Gem Silence has been countered, as then on the next turn it will spawn extra Power Gems and give the damage boost. I will show you what I mean by that when I start fighting a solo boss. So this is what I got from the Vault. I opened 4 tiers, a bit disappointed with what I got. I was hoping for a rare relic, but I didn't get it. But it is what it is, though. Alright, so this is the Vault before the event starts. Now, I'm really short on Noble Killer relics, so I'm not sure how many tiers of this I will do. If I get lucky and get a rare relic, then I may do 2 or 3 tiers, or I may do 4. It all depends on what I get. Anyway, this is tier 1. As to be expected, the usual junk. Here we go with tier 2. Let's see if I can get anything decent here. Here we go. That's the silver support hero. Oh, that's one of the cards from the event collection. I've only got one of the cards so far from the collection. I'll just show you what I mean. And I think that was the card I have already, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm missing 2 of the cards. I'm definitely going to do tier 3. I need the relic more than anything, then decide on tier 4 if I want to go for it or not. Well, there's the relic. Main event relic. There's the soul. And there's a load of junk. Well, that's just brilliant. So here we go. I guess I'm going to go for tier 4. Mainly because I need the relic more than anything. So here we go. I don't normally do tier 4, but I'm making an exception this time around. Let's see what I get. That's the main hero, I believe. Should be a relic coming up. Yeah, there's the relic. And then random cards. What am I going to get? Another silver card. And that's a support hero. And then junk. Yeah, I didn't really get much out of that. Our 4th tier was not really worthwhile. But I'm really low on relics, so I kind of had to do that, unfortunately. So at least I can make up something semi-decent for the event. It's not what I was hoping to get from the vault, though, but it never is, unfortunately. You always seem to get junk. Alright, so here we go with the Crusade. My main focus for this event is going to be the Radiant Crusade. I may not do ultimates, as they're probably going to be too tough. I'm not sure yet. I will decide that later on. Ultimate's only really worthwhile if you have a really powerful deck, or the event deck. If you have that, then you can actually get a lot of trophies from them. All the top players are probably going to farm ultimates throughout the event. But anyway, I'll do what I can. The Radiant Crusade gives a lot of trophies later on. So mainly focusing on that is probably one of the most effective ways for me to gain trophies. Now I can pretty much pick any light commander card for this and beat it. So here we go. It is obviously easier with an event card. Having 2 cards with that lovely upgrade skill helps a lot. But this card is perfectly good enough. Here we go. The HP is also pretty good with this team now. Over 10 million. So the recommended strategy for this: turn 1, make sure you use Afterlife Alliance, then use one other card. This is for the regular enemies. And then save all your big hitting cards for the bosses, basically. So that gets through the regular enemies nice and quickly. If you get a boss, though, start using the other cards, but regular enemies, again, you can get away with just not using anything. Or at least I should be able to get away without using anything. Yeah, there we go. Unfortunately, Afterlife Alliance has worn off now. Boss here. So for this boss, I could probably get away with just the one skill. Let's see. I don't think this will kill it, actually, but at least I will have the other cards ready for the final boss. Let's see. Yeah, that's not going to... Oh, yes, it did kill it. That's quite impressive, actually. I'm surprised at the damage. And then for the final boss, just go all out. Make sure you put Excalibur on one of your strongest cards if using this sort of team. And here we go. Let's kill the boss like so. Nice and easy. Well, hopefully the boss will die anyway. It should do. You can see 94.3 billion on Haunted Hunters. Oh, it didn't quite kill it. It was just a fraction out. Yeah, you can see the end boss is where You need all the skills. By far the hardest part of the Crusade. You probably already knew that though. There we go. Anyway, that's the boss defeated. That's the Crusade completed. So that's the basic strategy for Crusade. Get through it as quickly as possible using this method. So now I'm going to get a Radiant solo boss up. Might take a bit of time. I've had quite a few early on, but they don't seem to be spawning as often now. Not sure why that is. Alright, so here's a Radiant solo boss. As I've already mentioned, the main thing that makes this difficult is power gem silence. So what I need to do here is wait until it counters. Unfortunately, that does not always happen, as you're likely to see. Here we go. So turn 1, the best strategy is to just match anything and see if power gem silence actually counters or not. If it does, use Afterlife Alliance immediately afterwards. If it doesn't, then wait until it does. A little bit annoying. It's a slow and slightly painful process. When it does counter though, the damage should be pretty decent. Of course, that might not happen for a while, but it will counter eventually. Don't know why they put power gem silence on the bosses. That's such an annoying skill. You have to have some sort of counter, or else you can't do anything against it. So there we go, it's gone now. Use Afterlife Alliance, and then use all the skills and then smash the boss. That's the idea anyway. Don't know if the idea will work, but yeah, that's the idea. Right, so put Excalibur on Haunted Hunters, then upgrade all the power gems, and then hope it does decent damage. I think it should actually. Yeah, nearly 500 trillion on Haunted Hunters. It's quite a good team actually when it finally hits. Just takes a bit of time. Good HP on the team as well, so yeah, it's not bad at all. Of course, you may want to swap out Full Moon Lunaris if you don't have the event deck for something else. The upgrade skill is so good though that it's worth having on the team. Now if I can get Afterlife Alliance active, I will use it. Let's see if it goes active on this turn or not. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to use all the cards now. Put Excalibur on Afterlife Alliance, then use the upgrade skill now. And hopefully the damage will be pretty decent again. Let's see. It's not bad. It's not as good as it was on the previous attack. However, I think I've got it killed now, so yeah, there we go. Can kill the Radiant solo boss in one attack. Just takes a bit of time. That's not a big deal, really. There we go, waiting for it to load. And done. Radiant solo boss defeated. Nice. So yeah, you probably saw 200 million trophies on that boss as well. So that's not bad. Let's see that compared to the actual Crusade. Crusade goes up to around 600 million trophies later on. So, yeah, if you can do the Radiant Crusade, you might be able to get away with just doing that and not doing any ultimates. That's up to you, though. So now that I have a ton of Radiant keys, let's go ahead and finish off the Radiant boss that's already been started. So Armor and Chaos. Armor's the only problem for this. Chaos is not really a big deal. Plus, I do actually have a counter card for Chaos. Let me show you the strategy I'm using for this. On turn 1, use all the skills. And you have to wait until armour wears off, which is a bit of a pain, but it will wear off. So the first hit is normally something like that. Now for the tricky part. Wait out the 5 turns for armour to wear off. 1 turn before it wears off, though, use the Afterlife Alliance card. That's when armour is on 1. You will see why. Well, it increases the power gems and gives the damage bonus. Could also use it when armor's on 0. I think it's better on 1, as it increases the power gems to the next turn. Chaos is not really a big deal. It will counter as well with this team, which is good. So here we go. Now I need to get Excalibur on the 2 most powerful cards, which is that one and that one, like so. And then let's see what this does. So there we go. That's just under, I think it's probably over half a Q actually. One more hit will kill this boss. So you can see it's not actually bad damage. It just takes a bit of time again. You have the follow-up attack that does that sort of damage. Unfortunately, you have to wait for armor to wear off again. Armor really is a pain. Then just repeat the process. So with the event deck, this would obviously be a lot better. Without it though, it's a bit slow, but it's not bad. I mean, the important part is to be able to get through the Radiant Crusade. As long as I can do that, I can get decent trophies while no one else is killing guild bosses. And hopefully get a good global finish. Let's just kill it now. Chaos is hit, but it's not a big deal. Again, repeat the process of what I did last time for the big hit. And then, here we go. See what it does. So yeah, well and truly enough damage to kill the boss. And there we go. That's the damage on the guild bosses. Or that's the team for the guild bosses. You can obviously swap in some sort of armor counter or something like that if you wanted to make the guild boss a little bit easier. Okay, so let's have a look at the event rewards. Not sure what it is yet. It's a warden. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at this. Defender skill absorb. Well, that's not especially effective. It might be useful near the end of a defense. If someone has an attack team that can't get through the healing from absorb, but you're not the best defender skill if I'm being honest. It's up to you if you want to use that. I'd probably wait for something better though. That's just my opinion. And now let's have a look at the collection. What have we got this time? It looks like some sort of GVG Defense Hammer collection. Yeah, pretty much right there. Hammers. Legend Trial coins. Okay, that's pretty decent. There's quite a few there as well. So that's enough for at least 1 korelium summon. Bunch of stuff for your hammers as well. Probably only useful for newer players that don't really have their defences done yet, so to speak. Go ahead and claim all of this. 200 silver trials coins. Didn't realise how much that was actually. Yeah, 200 coins. That's really good. That's 8 bosses. And you should, with a bit of luck, get gems out of maybe one of the bosses, if you're lucky. But still, it's good reward. Happy to see that there. Alright, so finally, let's have a look at the actual event deck in more detail. Let's go over here. So that's the 2 cards. This is the Master Hero, I believe. Creates 7 light power gems and increases light gem pool stacks. Now, I've never really seen that much effect from gem pool, so that's by far the weaker out of the 2 cards in my opinion. If you are going to get any of the cards from this deck, this is the card to get. Mainly because of that upgrade skill. It also has a passive that creates power gems, so yeah, this is actually a really good card. And if you do get this deck, I can see it being quite useful when mixed with other decks. I'm definitely going to get the other half of this. Yeah, there we go, creates power gems and has an upgrade skill as well. So yeah, that's a good ultimate form. I will get that for sure. I just need to get enough coins to get the other half of this deck, which I'm sure I'll do. And there we go, that about covers this video. Hope that was helpful. As always, if you do have any questions or suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, leaving a like and subscribing to the channel is always appreciated. Thank you to those that have already subscribed, and thanks for watching.